You're looking at a thank you gift to Chris for bringing back Hauntcast. Glad to make it for him. Glad to have Hauntcast back. He picked the theme Captain Daniel. And so Googled all kinds of stuff and did find a Captain Daniel who was mutinied and murdered by the pirate John Quelch. There's a lot of bits and pieces to this tombstone, so I'm going to be focusing on what's unique to this stone. Again, there's more thorough tutorials in my other videos. You're going to build the base first, several layers, and so glue them in place, use the centers to keep the hole intact for the tombstone, and pull it out and allow to dry. Cut the base into somewhat of a boat shape, and then use a template for the side to give you a guideline on where to cut it out. And using that industrial knife again, it makes it a little bit quick work to start carving out the shape of the boat. Check to see that it fits, and then continue to carve. You can use models of ships to help you guide. I actually used the black pearl for this. What helps is also having lines on there to let you know where you need to carve. This is the outer limits of where you can carve. Then use a Sureform shaver to sand it down, and then the Dremel Multimax with the sanding pad, and you start seeing a ship there. The hot wire tool is also good for plunge cutting. This is putting on the back deck of the ship. It's also good for creating a staircase up and over, up and over, up and over. The engraver tool made pretty quick work of the detail lines, little windows, lines of the wood, where the cannons are. So every ship needs a woman in the front, right? Well, looking at Tinkerbell on the right, what do you think? Kind of looks like it would fit on a ship. So carve out a little bit of a space for her to fit on there, pluck off her wings, and fit her in there. We'll put her on in a second. Now, carving the epitaph with the engraver tool, you get kind of like some mess that's in there. You also get that with the Dremel, so use a pottery tool to scrape that out. If you hold the engraver tool at a good angle, you can help emboss the design so it makes them stand out and separate from the rest of the stone. Again, remembering that your viewer will help you along, so just suggest a skull there. Just kind of zip it around there. And here's a look of all the carving that's done. It's coming together. Well, if you haven't realized by now, I have found a use for this hot wire knife for darn near everything. Here I'm cutting out the channels for the PVC pipe. Time to sharpen up that edge, and so keep your arm straight. You don't want it angled, and burn it away. And those little bits that are being left behind pop off. Like the Dremel Multimax here to make like an edge for those scimitars. So nice and sharp. And then also sanded the side. If you want to clean up where you embossed, you can also use the very edge of it to sharpen it up. Okay, I'm spreading apart the feather texture brush to get ready for adding more realistic look to the acetone step. Now I'm using just a pokey proddy thing to just kind of pop in. The skin is left when you do acetone. And then using that feathering tool made more of an erosion look. Let me warn you though, I ruined that tool, so you need something a bit stronger, like maybe just a wire brush. Used Gorilla Glue on our little lady here to stick her on the front of the ship, and then some tape to hold her in place. Allow that to dry a good 24 hours. Here's a look at the detail shading done for this stone, and focused on the inside of the stone. Wanted to leave the swords kind of standing out there so they separate out. And then also focus on the face of the skeletons, make it pop out more. This is a good comparison shot to show you the effects of using different colors of dry brushing. On the right was white with then a little bit of gray added over it, and the left was just all gray. And you get two great effects. This Captain Daniel looks a lot older and ancient, whereas the Raven tombstone looks more dramatic and ghostly. They both look good, so it depends on what you're going after. Well, the last video I learned how to say lichen. So there's me putting on the last bit of the dark green lichen effect, and that's a close-up of how that looks. And you also get to see the tea staining, all the pollution colors, and the acetone etching. Also throw in a couple of barnacles on the back and a little bit on the sword. But we're pretty much done. Got the seaweed on there, and here's the front. I gotta show you our little lady. There she is. Well, Chris, thanks again for bringing Hauntcast back. It has been a joy to listen to the show once again while building props. You rock! Thanks, and thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.